Hi, welcome to Pico Playtime, the video series where I play through some cool Pico 8 games to show to you lovely people because I think you might want to play these games. They're pretty good games. So, our game today is called MetroCUBEvania. It is by the developer Flytrap Studios, and Flytrap Studios is headed up by every single video I do now. There is a name that I have to mangle the pronunciation for. I'm going to try my best. It's a French name. I dropped French in year 9, so bear with me. Matthieu Le Gallic. Hope I pronounced that right. Anyway, Matthieu Le Gallic is the main man at Flytrap Studios, and MetroCUBEvania was the first game that they made on Pico 8. And I think it's pretty good. I probably play, or probably on this channel, probably show you too many kind of games by the most experienced Pico 8 programmers, usually because they're very good, but I want to show that show some work by maybe lesser known Pico 8 developers whose work I think is good. So this is one such game. Anyway, this was the first game that they made on Pico 8. So there are a few kind of rough edges. However, the game has been patched a couple of times since it was first released in 2018. And the most recent patch, I believe, was this year sometime. So it's still getting supported, which is cool. I occasionally try to patch some of my own games if I spot little bugs, but I feel guilty by kind of posting patches and then resurrecting the game in the forums and thinking it just looks like shameless self-promotion. But it's good to patch games, isn't it? Anyway, it's a Metroidvania kind of game. You know the score. It's a platform game with a kind of large open world. There are elements of exploration and kind of backtracking. There are unlockable powers that allows us to reach new areas. And as usual, my video today is pointlessly endorsed, promoted, whatever, by a new energy drink. This is Carabao energy drink. And it says the Carabao Cup, EFL. Is that the English Football League? Who are the EFL? Don't know. The European Football League? Whoever it is, Carabao will sponsor them. Win football tickets. Oh, I can win football tickets. Great. Carabao is a great tasting sparkling mandarin orange flavoured energy drink with taurine, caffeine, B vitamins. That's it. With sugar and sweeteners, only 63 calories per can. Right, well that's not much of a... that's not selling it to me, is it? Come on, up your game, Carabao. Monster have entire paragraphs of gobbledygook and gibberish on their cans trying to get you to drink their energy drink. You need to pull your finger out a bit. Carabao, despite having a kind of Mexican kind of theme, is actually made in... It's a product of Thailand. So there you go. Let's see what Thailandese... Let's see what Thai energy drink tastes like. Well, it tastes like mandarin orange. It's not bad. It's just an orange drink. Right, that's enough of that. Let's load up MetroCUBEvania. I'm going to try my best not to call it MetroidCUBEvania. I'll try my best. Okay, so there you go. Version 1.2. It has been updated. I believe that there are a few collision issues and level design things that have been tweaked. So, the game has got 3 difficulties, and there's no way I'm going to be playing hard. I've completed on normal a couple of times, but I'm going to be showing you easy for the purposes of the video, because it will mean that I won't be dying quite as much, and I'll hopefully be able to show you the whole game in not too long a video. Because this is a... I really don't know what you call these kind of style of platforming games. Kind of like Super Meat Boy, kind of like Celeste. Not in terms of the difficulty so much, but little bit of music there. More in terms of the very quick respawn rates and kind of one hit and you're dead kind of thing. Like so. You die, you respawn very quickly. Not my favourite style of platform games, so it's nice to see it kind of expanded a little bit with some Metroid, Castlevania elements. So I've just unlocked springboards. So you may have noticed that I wandered over one of those yellow springboard things, nothing happened. Well now, boing. Isn't that good? So, I'm going to be spending quite a lot of time on this video talking about level design. It's probably one of the most important parts of a game like this, getting a good world to explore. And I think this game gets a lot of that right, which is good. That's why I'm playing it. I'm not saying it's perfect. I have a couple of issues with some elements of the level layout, but in general, I think this is a really nice, fun world to explore. I like the different areas. I like the different platforming challenges that each area gives us. There's a little bit of kind of different terrain. We've got a snowy area which we're going to visit shortly. We're in this kind of grassy, rocky area, and there's a lava area too, which is pretty hot. Now, what we are trying to do then is advance through the game. We are trying to get all of our different power-ups. I've just got double jump. Yes, this is another platform game with double jumping. This lets us jump twice if you didn't somehow know what double jump did. We're trying to unlock all the power-ups, and then at the end of the game there is a boss which we get to fight. Now, I'm playing on easy because I want to make life easy for myself, and the differences in the difficulties are kind of enemy or obstacle placement. Normal and more so on hard has a lot more spikes and more of these kind of shooting turret things, so you're going to die a lot more. The little flags are checkpoints, like I said. Most of the checkpoints I think are fine. I think there are a couple of areas in the game though where an extra checkpoint would make a lot of sense and would help things a lot, and we've just been past it actually. Now if I can get through here, there we go, in one go as well, which was nice. This area here and the area before that, let's see if I can get through it without dying. So otherwise that'll be a bit of a case in point. This area, especially on normal and even more so on hard, and this area are quite challenging areas. Some quite you need to have quite good timing to get through them, and there isn't a obvious checkpoint before the area. So, and this is an area that you revisit a couple of times in the game, and I think there really needs to be a checkpoint on this screen where I am now. It's in the start of a new area, as you can see. So we're into a new area. There should be a checkpoint because you've got quite a challenging section afterwards, 2 challenging screens, and if you die, you respawn miles away, not miles away, but quite a few screens away from where you're trying to be, and that does mean that there is quite a bit of backtracking, which is unfortunate because it's a wrinkle in an otherwise very nice overworld level kind of thing. You can see we've got a checkpoint down here, and there's also another checkpoint here. Neither of them feel like the most obvious one to use, if that makes sense. I mean, I think this one is technically closer. Well, there's probably not much in it really, is there? I just think it's odd that there isn't a checkpoint there, because there are other areas in the game, particularly later on there's a lava area which has some quite difficult bits, and that is littered with checkpoints. Obviously it's a much harder part of the game, but it seems odd that early on there is such a kind of difficulty spike. Anyway, enough of that. So I'm advancing through the game now. The last thing I picked up was a kind of stomp ability. This lets me stomp down on certain blocks to bust through them. And yeah, it lets us reach the next area. So let's see if I can let's see if I can navigate this without dying Couldn't even finish my sentence. There we go. Nice. The game includes a lot of kind of, I don't know what you'd call them, kind of quality of life platform features that are very popular at the moment. Celeste kind of popularised a lot of these kind of techniques, I think. And I don't know if they had names before Celeste. The first time I'd seen half of these even mentioned was on a post by one of the Celeste developers explaining what they were doing. And we've got such things as, which I can demonstrate now, coyote time. You have a certain amount of time after leaving a platform when you're in air where you're still able to jump. Old school platformers, as soon as you leave a platform, you start falling and you can't jump. So you end up, that kind of helps avoid the silly mistakes where you just mistime a jump and then fall to your doom. And I think from a kind of design point of view, I think these are quite interesting additions because whilst they make the player's life easier, I think they kind of allow much more challenging platforming as a result. And I'm not a mega fan of this kind of style of platforming, so it's maybe something I prefer not to see, if that makes sense, because I feel like Coyote Time and all the other ones, I'm not sure which other ones are in this game, I definitely know it's Coyote Time. I feel like they're enablers. They're enablers for the platform games that I'm not so keen on. Here's an interesting area. If we go up here, we start at the beginning area again, but kind of in the wall, like a secret entrance. I'm not entirely sure what that's for. It's interesting though. Let's see if we use it later on. I suppose we'll have to use it on the way back. Anyway, I just thought it was a nice little detail. I don't think there are any other little secret walls in the game. I haven't found any. It'd be cool if there were. Okay, so here is the lava area. You can see each new area that we visit has a little kind of fanfare, sound effect, music thing. And yeah, this is the lava area. This looks very Metroid. And this is one of the medal kind of challenge areas. Again, these are very popular in kind of platform games at the moment. The first place I seen this style of platforming level design was on Guacamelee. There were some horrendous platforming sections on that game. Horrendously difficult, that is. And yeah, I've still got PTSD from that. Anyway, this level, this is the kind of last new area that we visit. And you may have noticed these grey blocks. I thought they were meant to be kind of bombs, like we were going to blow our way through the blocks with a bomb attack or a dash attack. It's not, there's just a key that we get and it opens them, so that's cool. I think dash should be a bit overplayed. So you can see there, I've died and it's respawned me, but I've not gone that far back. That's a well-placed respawn point. And look, you can see there's another one. This area, I mean, it is a hard area, but it feels very generous with checkpoints. Other areas of the game, I think, could possibly have done with some more. So it is possible to do that area in one go without dying, but it's easier to not just do that. Now, see, this is a tricky area here. Look at this. We've got to weave our way down, time those jumps just right, and there's another checkpoint. I don't think that checkpoint, I don't think that's there on normal or hard. I don't think that's there on normal. Could be wrong. That would be a way to make the game much harder, just having fewer checkpoints. So you can see there, literally one checkpoint on each screen at this stage, which I think is a bit of an odd decision because this is further in now. I'd expect it to be getting harder and more tight-fisted with the checkpoint placement. Then again, that could just be because I'm on easy. Anyway, moving on. So now I've got the key. I can get I can pass nice and quickly and safely back through this area and resume my adventure through this mysterious world of adventure and intrigue. So I'm back here now. Again with the checkpoint placement, I think it would be sensible for that checkpoint to be perhaps on the other side of this, or just somewhere so that there wouldn't be a way for us to miss it. I think it's better to have more checkpoints which you're kind of forced to go through, or at least to have some that you're forced to go through, so that you have fewer frustrating deaths where you have to backtrack a lot because you died and didn't go on a checkpoint. Anyway, so we're back at the start. We've got all our powers now, and we're now advancing to the one of the end areas of the game. So at this point, I need to start looking around for the other medal areas where I can try and unlock a new medal. Let's have some more Carabao. Well, that's definitely orange. There's so little to say about that drink. It's just orange. Right, here's a challenge area. So as you can see, the medal areas are usually kind of one screen platforming puzzle challenge things, and I think they're really good. Like I say, not a big fan of this style of platforming, but this is a really good example of the kind of thing that you get in platformers like this. My issue with these style of platformers is, and there's a lot of games that are guilty of this, on Pico 8, Celeste is a notable one, because there's very little consequences to dying. I'm right. Let's put my thoughts together. There are few consequences, or very few consequences, to dying besides just losing time. But to compensate for that, the levels are extremely difficult, and I find that I just most of the time just end up brute forcing challenging areas and just, you know, spending 10 minutes or however long time it takes me and just brute forcing my way through an area. I don't feel like I'm getting better at the game. I just feel like I'm getting lucky, and I just don't find that very satisfying. I'd rather have a game where the difficulty is a bit lower, or, you know, the difficulty of individual screens is a bit lower, but where there's more consequences to dying. Think about how hard a sort of traditional platformer might be if you've got, say, one life left, and, you know, then the difficulty ramps right the way up, and you really have to concentrate, because that last life, you lose that, game over. On these games, you don't get that. You just get stuck. you hit a difficulty spike, literally a difficulty spike, and you just keep at it until you get through. And I just don't find them quite as fun as I do in other platform games. It's a good job then that this game has got some Metroid elements in, because that's what's keeping me here at the moment. The exploration and the different power-ups and things. Right, I think there's maybe another... Yes, there's another medal there, so let's try and get that. So how many have we got now? 4. Now, I spent ages traipsing around this area and the area above this looking for another secret area. I was just misremembering that. A slight kind of niggly point here. The screen scrolling there. I think it would be good to either have the screen scroll, just have a delay on the screen scrolling, just for you to get your bearings. Have the camera slide across maybe, to just change it, or just to block off some of those areas. 'Cause, yeah, jumping across 3 screens like that is kind of disorienting. But anyway, very minor criticism there. Right then, so we're back to the snowy area. Let's see if I can get through this without dying. Because I really don't want to go back to wherever the last checkpoint was. Phew, good. So I need to go down here now. Just checking there's nothing around here. Well, there's a checkpoint, so it's a good job I got that. Again, with checkpoint placement, there ought to be one here rather than on this screen, because you have to land down here, and you're going to do that naturally. Because look, if you died here, and you hadn't picked up that checkpoint, you'd be going right the way back to near the start of the game, or wherever the last checkpoint was that I picked up. Anyway, so get that checkpoint as well. Right, the final challenge area. Oh, this one's a tricky one. Let's see if I can do this. You see what I mean about kind of brute forcing things? I mean, I'm sure there are people who are good at these games who don't need to just brute force, but us mere mortals, this is how the game is played for us, and Is it necessarily fun? I'm not sure. I don't feel like... I mean, I know I had a technique that I developed, but like I say, you just feel like you're brute forcing it. I mean, I've died like 3 or 4 times in a row there. And yeah. Oh. I will get this. You see, this is another thing, right? I end up getting stuck on these areas and wanting to complete it out of stubbornness, of not wanting to let the game beat me. That was lucky. And yeah, you kind of end up like hate playing the game just to kind of prove something. And yeah, I'd just rather not have that in my platform games. But yeah, this style of platformer is very popular. That's just my opinion. Oh my. Right, let's try not to die on this bit. There we go. Final little area here. This is a nice touch at the end. We've got a boss. Here he is, a kind of angry cube. Now, as you can see, this boss can be quite tricky. It's such a simple attack pattern that it's got, and well, you're probably going to see me die a lot. This is a really well done boss. I think this is really good. It's just got the 2 attack patterns. That doesn't mean you're not going to die when you're doing it though, because oh, as you can see, takes a little bit of practice, a little bit of luck. Again, slight criticism here. The second, third, 15th time I've seen the boss, I don't want to see that short fading in effect. I mean, it's only a very short animation, but a lot of games do this. It's like, I know, just have the boss already there, or just have the animation shortened the second, third time that you play it. But again, I'm nitpicking. I do kind of, I mean, it's a good sign really. If I'm nitpicking a game, it means there's nothing that's majorly wrong with it. It's not like I'm saying, oh, this level design is completely broken. I'm just nitpicking. Maybe I should stop. Maybe I should have another swig of my Carabao. Would go really well with a Thai green curry or some other Thailandish Thai food. Right, I need to stop making fun of people from Thailand and concentrate on this boss. Now, I think this boss takes 5 hits on normal. I'm not sure how many he's going to take on easy. Let's find out. Is that 4 hits? I've lost count already. Oh, that was the last. That was the final stage of the boss as well. So I was 1 hit away there from completing the game. Let's see if I can do it this time. Like I say, a very good boss. Just the right level of challenge, I think. The boss kind of damage animation there maybe could be shortened. Again, I'm totally nitpicking now. That was my fault then, I think. I think you just have to wait for it to stop flashing, don't you? There we go. That's the trick. And there you go. A little bit of nice music there. 5 medals, 29 deaths, difficulty easy. When I did it on normal, I think I had about 70 something deaths just before I recorded this video. I can't remember how many I had the first time. There's people I've seen in the comments on Itch or on the Pico 8 website where the one person had like hundreds of deaths. I'm thinking, why did you do that to yourself? I don't understand it. Anyway, here's MetroCUBEvania, a very nice Metroid style platformer by Flytrap Studios. Follow them on Twitter, Matthieu Le Gallic. One of his later games on Pico 8 is Witch Loves... what's it called now? Witch Loves Bullets, which is a kind of side-scrolling shooter game, which I really enjoy. I'd played that before I'd played MetroCUBEvania, and I thought it reminded me how much I enjoyed it, so perhaps expect to see that in a future video. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that video. Hope I didn't offend anyone from Thailand. I hope you enjoy Carabao energy drink, and yeah, check out MetroCUBEvania. It's a rather nice little Pico 8 game and shows you what's possible in a first Pico 8 game. This is definitely a lot better than my first Pico 8 game. So yeah, hats off to Matthieu Le Gallic, who's made a pretty cool platformer here. So check it out. And yeah, thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you again very, very soon.